let's start with the item that's already in the game. So we're gonna go, higher and higher in excitement. So the item that is already in the game, but now a Mac item is, put it over here, Amber. So Amber is now a Mac item, still the same text and everything. So for those that don't know, you can get this from a monster fight, and it's slow one item for 3 seconds, and your other slow items have more slow. So Metal, you already know of Amber, right?
Yeah, and I will say though, one thing that's worth mentioning about Amber specifically is I don't remember when they did it, but I think at some point they changed Amber from being an item that increased in duration to an item that increases in targets. So if there is some form of synergy in his kit that benefits from slowing multiple targets, the fact that Amber can get up to, I think, 3 items slowed at 6 seconds cooldown is
Yes.
not irrelevant.
It's like a small dock lines basically at Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of slow synergy, let's move on to some new items. We have. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. Damn it. Okay, I'm bad at this.
Oh,
Here we have it. Alright, here we have it. Fireflies. So it's a
okay.
9-second item that burns for 3, and then it's small, and then it says, when you slow, this gains 1 burn for the fight. So, Metal,
That's
what is
it's
your.
interesting. It's my first reaction is that this makes me think of pistol shrimp, but without ammo. And I will say, I think pistol shrimp not a terrible
Wait, I'm gonna
card.
put up the one you're
Um,
referring to, so that for the Mantis shrimp, you
yeah,
mean, right?
bring up the
Mantis.
pistol shrimp. Mantis shrimp, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
this one.
And the main issue for me with mantis shrimp was usually the fact that 2 ammo and high cooldown made it feel like it just had too many constraints to play around. But at the same time, one of the only reasons that made Mantis Shrimp like even remotely playable is the fact that Vanessa has both barnacle crusted and figurehead, which are good ways of reducing cooldowns of items. Because base 9 seconds is not something that you can actually utilize. So I'll be very curious to see what venues Mac has for um, speed management of his own items. We already know that Haste Pot is a Mac item, which I think that's obviously if it's really easy for Mac to gain perma haste on his board, that's the kind of thing that makes this sim maybe more playable. It's also a friend, so who knows what friend-related synergies he might have.
Yes, so we don't know how this scale. This is only bronze, by the way. I would imagine that when you upgrade it, it probably um
Increases the scaling, yeah.
yes, but yeah. So probably Mac will have a lot of slow synergy, and then this is one of the payoffs. So let's do another
Yeah,
item here.
I
I think.
think it's worth pointing out with this one too. Slow burn as a skill.
Yeah, right.
If you manage to, if it is actually +4 at diamond, and you have to slow obviously with say your amber to scale up the fireflies, and you also have slow burn with haste, and you can maybe get this to trigger at like 4 or 5 seconds with say it's got a burn enchant too, and you get it up to be like 50 burn on the first trigger, 100 with crit, which we do know that Mac possibly has. There might be something you can realistically do with this
Yeah.
item.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. And so now we have some dragon stuff here. Um, Dragon's breath. So 12-second cooldown, burn for 10.
Oh.
When you use an adjacent or dragon item, this gains 6 burn for the fight. So it's quite reminiscent of what's it called? It's like the dragon fight. The skill he has. Uh,
Yeah, I know this item, Dragon's Breath, I'm fairly certain is already in the game
Oh,
because I've
really?
seen it from Pearl one time,
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Let me see what chat has to say here,
Um,
because I...
I'm not sure. Has anyone else seen this in game?
Okay,
Yeah,
it's in
yeah.
the game.
Trox
Okay.
said that this
All
is
right.
in the game. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's very it's very interesting because I've seen this, but I thought it was a encounter item,
Yeah, so
not a Mac
maybe
item.
the change then is that it's now a Mac item. So right now it's probably only a monster
And
item.
either way, like the only place I've seen it from is
It
okay.
was
It
a
was
Mac
a
item.
Mac
Okay,
item
okay.
already, but this is very interesting. Yeah, this is ammo because it's a potion,
Okay.
but it does make me wonder if there are more things on Mac which have the dragon tag.
So I think this has been
Um,
changed basically because some people are saying it's been buffed and that it also has ammo now. So
right.
probably it's
Okay.
a different version of something we've seen before, would be my guess.
For not Quartz in the chat, is it just me or are potions worthless until we confirm he has synergy with it? Mac already has items in the game that have potion synergy. We know he has a satchel that can reload his potions.
All right. So this excites me because it means that Mac is gonna have dragon synergy stuff. Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. I mean, maybe it's already been announced somewhere that he would do dragon stuff, but that's exciting to me, right? Maybe there is some way to,
Yeah, for sure.
like maybe he has some way of, like dragons will be this crazy payoff win conditions that you know, like Mac will have like a build around deck that you try and make a dragon somehow pop is my idea or something. Because the dragons we have in the game so
Yeah.
far, like we have this super small dragon items for like Vanessa, and those are like growing exponentially in size. So imagine if there's like a large dragon or something. I would think that it's probably some kind of super broken item that's probably hard to obtain. Anyway, so I think, I mean, my main concern is the cooldown here. Like 12 seconds, that's a long time in Bazaar. That's depth charge territory. So unless there is some way to bring down the cooldown, alternatively, Mac has a lot of regen, right? So maybe the way you play this is you have a ton of regen, so you survive early, and then once this pops, it pops for a million burn. Like that's
Yeah.
I think if this was a duel item, I would never play it, of course. But Dooley and Mac are very
It's
different in how they play, probably.
it is also interesting that it does say like when you use any adjacent item or a dragon item, it gains burn for the fight. So
Mm-hmm.
if he has something that triggers like very quickly,
An
like 12
Uzi,
seconds,
an
right?
Uzi. He would need like a Mac Uzi, basically.
Yeah, it 12 seconds is the same thing as Primordial Depth Charge, and the best stat by far on Primordial Depth Charge is to have more burn, and obviously this doesn't have any innate multicast, but all that matters is in the mid game, if you have a medium item that can apply like 100, 150 burn, it can be really significant. So it does matter though, like what would you need? If you can get like 20 procs in 12 seconds, it's really powerful. So if you have like
Yeah.
two fast triggering
Now,
items,
this item, I
it
believe, I feel
might
like
be
this is probably an
possible.
item that when you upgrade it, the cooldown goes down. Because I feel like a lot of the high cooldown items in the game,
Yeah.
whether it be Boulder, I believe it's Depth Charge also gets CDR when you upgrade it, and a few others. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like 10 or 9 seconds of diamond, or maybe it's only this. We don't know
It's
that.
probably 10. So far, I think all of the items that work that way have had 1 second cooldown
Right.
per rank reduction. But it's also possible. So this one, crucially, is another potion item,
Mm-hmm.
and I would not be too surprised if just imagine like we might have aquatic rush for potions, or say he's got a potion belt that gives start of combat haste to your potions, the same way holsters do for Vanessa. Anything like that that can accelerate, having haste potion go off as a chain effect with repeat triggers close to this, while this is also hasted, that's the kind of synergy that I would see making like a potion archetype come together as something reasonable.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to. We can circle back to them later, but I wanna reveal the items, because that will help us evaluate them also. So next up, we have one of my favorite items, and this is called Goop Flail. It's a large item with 3 multicast,
That's a lovely name.
and then it deals 1 damage, and then it poisons equal to its damage. So it's kind of like 3 blow darts, like the Vanessa item, or blowgun. Maybe it's the basically it has poison equal to its damage, I think. But what excites me here is
Yeah.
the fact that I can only assume that Mac will have some crazy way to buff his weapon damage, right? He has the poppy fields, which I'm gonna bring that up for those who don't know. It's like my favorite item in the game. So
I think the most interesting thing is, again,
this
really
item.
long cooldown. Like, not a
Wait,
lot
oops,
of characters
that's the wrong.
outside of,
Here.
like, yeah, I don't know.
When you
Are
use a
there
weapon
many items in the
poison,
game with
and then your weapons have
above 10-second
damage equal
cooldowns?
to the poison. So this is scaling your weapon's damage, right? So, and then there is synergy within these two. So let's bring this back up. But yeah, the cooldowns are really long here. So
Yeah.
I think that Mac will have either access to a lot of haste or a lot of charging, like a pendulum effect or a battery effect.
Oh, yes, of course. We know he has Pendulum.
Sure.
I think Pendulum feels really significant
With this
here
item, yep.
because, yeah, it lets you charge up the cooldown. Like, just getting it down to, like, a much more reasonable, like, say, 5 triggers in
Yeah.
7 seconds to get it to a 7-second cooldown. You would also have it be, like, full crit. And with a Diamond Pendulum that charges 2 per use, even faster.
Yeah.
Raylo Swag in the chat asked if these are data mines. These are official reveals provided by Tempo.
Yep. There is no funny business going on here. It's all, official. So I love these kind of items that you have to work a bit to make work.
Yeah.
It's like weather glass or other items that.
Oh,
What are you gonna say?
really interesting synergy with this one. Retaliatory toxins, the skill that previously did it so that when you go below half health, you poisoned 1 time, has been changed to be Mac and Vanessa exclusive and make it so that anytime the opponent uses any weapon, you poison them. And there is a poison skill, I think it's called Toxic Strength or something to that effect,
Yeah,
which
toxic.
boosts the damage of your weapons every time you poison,
Yeah.
which means that you can use
Let
the
me put it
poison
up.
weapon skill synergy as your Goop Flail damage charging mechanic, potentially.
Here it is. So for those who don't know, there's the skill toxic. When you poison your weapons, gain damage. And then the other one was the what is it called? Toxins.
Retaliatory toxins, I believe.
There it is. When your enemy
Yeah.
uses an item, poison. That's actually a crazy combo, honestly. So
And of course, huge poppy field synergy again
yeah,
too. So it feels like poison weapon might be kind of an archetype.
what you guys need to remember is we don't know how Mac's skills are gonna look like. So if he has easy ways to buff damage, then there.
One of the only skills that we do know too, this is courtesy of Walter Coolers in the chat because he brought this up on one episode of the podcast. Mac has a large item poison skill as well.
Interesting. Do you remember what it's called?
I think it's just called maybe large poison.
Wow, that's a very creative name by Tempo.
Yeah. So it's
Large
just plus
poison.
poison to your large.
Oh, it's literally called
items.
okay. Large poisons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your okay, your large poison
I
minus.
wasn't kidding.
Well, I like that. This is very useful. Just put it in there and you find it. All right. So this for me is sparking so much theory crafting, brain, and just getting the theory crafting juices flowing. I think I'm gonna try and make this work. Even if it's bad, I will play this on stream for sure.
So
Because it feels like you can
the
break the
main
game here.
thing that gives me hope about Mac just as a character in general right now is actually I was speaking to Walter about this the other day, how we felt like There are two items that are currently in the game called Palanquin and Pendulum. And at a glance, they seemed to make Mac look like he might be a bit too powerful. Because Pendulum, of course, has a charge mechanic, and Palanquin has like built-in knife tricks whenever you crit with an item. But now I'm kind of starting to see it in a different light, where maybe the intention is that max items have these near unprecedented, like long cooldowns, almost like a Pygmalion. But he has built in other synergies that are meant to charge and cooldown reduce your other items, so that that's what you use to enable actually being able to play these really big cooldowns.
Yeah. So in chat, feel free, guys, if you have like suggestions or ideas how to make this item work. I will try and catch up on chat later. I'm gonna let MetallFenix give his impressions, but then I also want to make sure to give you guys some time to give like your takes on the items, because I love this item. Like generally, I know like some of the earlier items, I look at the cooldowns and I'm like, oh, that seems hard to make work. This one I actually think is this might be one of those crazy items that get nerfed because we find a way to break it, right? Like this is a very
Solus
powerful effect.
pointed out
Oh,
this is
juggler,
also
yeah,
a
yeah,
very like
juggler. That
juggler.
ends it. Yep,
It's a good shout.
yep. Like,
Especially because he'll have probably very fast small items due to the potions, which we do know of
mhm.
already.
So should we move on to the next one, or do we have more to
One
say?
last note
Sure.
on this particular one is that Pendulum is an interesting item because it goes
Let me pull that up.
both ways. And I have noticed that there are some large slow items like this one, which has multicast, which ends up meaning that while you use a fast item to charge the flail up, when
Mm-hmm.
the flail swings, it also return charges the item on the other side.
Yeah.
And I don't think like you do that particular combo, but imagine just having like two of these big multicast items on each side of a pendulum, and then when it starts going, it's just a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah, multicast with
Um,
pendulum is super dangerous. Like that's why soldering gun.
yes.
So if you don't know, one of the most broken things you can do with powered drill currently on Dually is drill, pendulum, and then soldering gun with like a Chris Arm knife. That
Hmm.
makes the drill go nuclear basically. So I'm very excited for Mac because of all he has so much cool stuff. I feel like he's gonna be a very hard hero to balance because there are so many crazy combos here to discover. So I wouldn't be surprised if there will be a lot of balance changes as we discover ways to break him, or you know.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how he kind of distinctly feels like a combo centric
Mhm.
hero
Yep, yep.
so far. Like
I would
everything
agree.
we've seen focuses very hard on combos.
Yes, a lot of synergies. So let's probably move on to
Yeah.
the next one. So let me pull it up here. And this one, I actually asked MetallFenix. I only showed him the artwork, and I had him try and guess the effect. Now he came quite close, to be fair. So this might seem very familiar to a.
I called the name
Yes, you
correctly.
called the name. So I'm gonna show. Okay, honestly, I'm gonna do the same for chat. So chat, you are gonna try and guess the name and effect of this item first. I think that's gonna be a fun game for you. So let me pull it up here. Here is the art. Oh, I'm stupid. You can see the name up in the. Okay, well the name has been
Well,
revealed. Yeah. Well, this is the artwork. Yep, Ice Claw. I mean, you see. Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't name these. They came pre-named, but that's
yeah, the true real name is as Talvi called it. It's Blue Fireclaw.
yeah, Blue Fireclaw. And this is why I'm a bad person at doing this stuff. I didn't even remember to remove the names of items. But anyway, so we have an effect on this. So chat, whoever, someone in chat try and guess the effect and see how close we
So
get.
I can say what I
Yes. So let's
guessed
try
so
with
that we
start
can
with
see
Metal
how
Phoenix first
close
here. All right.
we get other people get. So my thought was we have Fire Claw already.
Hmm.
Fire Claw gains
Let me pull that up.
burn equal to the burns of all your other items. And I see this kind of duality here, right? He's an alchemist, he's got one fire hand and he's got one ice hand. The fire hand clearly is meant to burn and destroy. So maybe the point of the ice hand, since he's an alchemist, he works with regents, might be to preserve in some way. So my prediction was that it was going to have freeze with something that grants regen. That was my prediction.
All right. So could you actually just name the text? Just instead of it's just like what do you think the cooldown and the effect is, and we'll see how close you come. Like literally, text wise. So maybe that is hard for you, Metal.
Yeah, I'd say like maybe say 7-second cooldown.
Hmm.
It Oh, it's tricky. If they hadn't released Cold Room, I would basically guess that this would have like the text of Cold Room, but we have Cold Room, so it can't be Cold Room. I also considered if it was like Freeze and then Poison, but that's a dually item already. So I'm like, damn it, my two best guesses. Um, so maybe I think around 7 seconds feels good, and then I think it starts off freezing one target, but maybe goes up in targets. And then maybe.
It's
Well,
so
I'm
fun
gonna do
reading
the
chat
cop out,
also.
and I'm gonna say like flat region on cast as
Okay.
well.
And then I'm gonna catch up on chat here. So what do we have from? So Walter says that he believes it's gonna um, freeze for a duration equal to the number of freeze items you have, and then Boxscore Brian predicts an 18-second cooldown. Okay, and then
I kind of like Seb Leb predicting that it will maybe freeze and then heal for each frozen item. That's some really cool synergy with Frost Potion and Sapphire. So you know what? I like that idea that it scales with number of frozen items on enemy board. I'm putting my token on his bet.
yeah. All right, guys. I think we're almost. So I'm gonna thank some of my followers. So thank you, Moat, Giara, Himes, the Stubborn, Bruce, Linkin, Sonia Kna, and Stanik for the follows, and Muted in life also. Thank you guys. So now there might be a comedic moment here because you guys went really hard with the and like you came up with crazy effects here.
Oh, if you tell us it doesn't freeze, I'm gonna jump out a window.
I'm gonna say that reality is sometimes a bit more not mundane, but a bit more straightforward. So there we have it. Ice Claw.
Oh, yeah, okay. That kind of does make sense. So it's a medium ice pick.
Yes, it's a medium ice pick.
Hmm.
Did anyone in chat actually
It's
get it? Let's
hmm.
let's see. So you guys, if you actually got it, you'll get some reward maybe, but
No, I don't think anyone got it. Uh, this is interesting actually. I think it's really easy to underestimate this item, and it depends on one factor. You haven't been granted the upgrades, right?
no, this is a bronze item right
No.
now.
Yeah, the thing I want to know is if the number of targets increases with rank, because I think that makes or breaks this item. And it's not necessarily for the reason you may think. The reason that's so significant here isn't just because it gains more self scaling, it's because Mac has Sapphire as one of his base items. And we already know that Frost Potion gains targets as its rank increases. Sapphire gains targets as its ranks increases. And if Ice Claw also gains targets as its rank increases, it means that the +1 second to freeze duration on Sapphire could be, or it might have nerfed it to 0.5, but regardless, any amount of flat freeze duration increases could go really hard on a build like this.
Yes. So I hope there's. So I come from Slay the Spire, and there is a item there called Claw. So I hope there is some way in the Bazaar or Mac to have like a Claw build. You have this item and you have the other item, and then maybe there is a third item that, there is like for each, like if you have
There,
both
there,
claws, you win the
there's
game or something crazy like that.
there's the dumbest way to make it work. If you put a burn on the ice claw, its burn scales up, which scales the burn of the
That's
the
actually good.
burn claw.
Yeah, need that initiative. So
Ugh.
guys, I'm gonna tell you where you're sleeping on this. This is a bronze item. One of the most broken skills in the game right now is called Shatter. It says
Yeah.
when you freeze, your weapons gain like 10 damage. That's a broken skill, right? This at bronze gains 20 when you freeze. It freezes itself. So I think that this is gonna be super giga strong. Like freeze smack.
I think it's like
This
it
can be your
feels
damage source
very
basically.
mid-game code.
Yes, mid.
I
Yeah, it's
don't
a
think
no. It's not
like
late
it's
game. But it's like
9
mid game.
seconds. Late game, you'd have to maybe try to enable it again with some pendulum shenanigans, but I would expect that this is something you swap out of. But just the fact that
Oh, we have.
Mac will have
Hold up,
easy
Metal. We
access
have
to your freeze
information here from
potion.
Muted. So Muted says
Yeah?
that the number of items getting frozen go from 1 to 2 to 3 to
Yes.
4.
Okay.
And then the passives. So that's crazy.
Yeah,
This goes to
that's
4 items at Diamond.
entirely what I would have expected.
Okay. Well, that makes it a lot stronger, though. So at
Yeah,
Diamond, it's
because
gonna be
I
4
think that's like
items frozen, right?
yeah. But
Yeah,
I don't think like I also think
that's busted
while on
actually.
one
That's crazy.
hand on one hand don't sleep on it,
Hmm.
on the other hand don't overrate
No, no,
it
no,
either
no, no. It's
because
a good
it's
item, I
still a
think.
9-second cooldown weapon that you have to scale. So I don't think it's like crazy, but I definitely think it's like it might be similar to what a pulse rifle represents for dueling in being just, or a flamethrower might be the even better comparison. This might be max,
Do
or what am
do
I
you mean
saying?
rocket launcher?
Rocket
Yeah,
launcher?
rocket
Yeah.
launcher. That makes
This
sense.
might be like max rocket launcher, basically, where like you don't necessarily run it into the late game, but it might be a very consistent mid game core. Unless, of course, if you have a wide weapon build with Ice Claw, Frost Potion, Sapphire, and Shatter. Now, on the other hand, we're talking.
Yeah. So Trox says that this goes well with one of the items Rarish revealed. Let me just real quick try and. Does
Ooh,
anyone in
okay.
chat know? Has Rarish posted those somewhere? Because I could pull them up on the screen and we could compare and see synergy. Because I haven't had the opportunity to watch Rarish today as I've been streaming, but it would be interesting to see if. Let me check on his Discord. Doesn't seem. Let me. Maybe someone in chat knows where I can find the revealed items. Because let's see. I'm gonna look maybe in the Mac channel on the official Discord. We have or Metal. Do you know if there's any weird?
No, I've
Okay,
been at
let's.
work
Yeah, I
until
understand. Understand.
right as this
All
started.
right, let me see if I.
Yeah, Solus pointed out Glacier, of course, as well, is a natural
Yeah, yeah.
synergy for this. I think anything like that, because Frost Street Champion drops Glacier and has really good Frost synergy skills in general. Blizzard is also insane with Ice Claw and
Oh yeah,
Fire.
yeah. So
Yeah,
can someone tell
Glass
me
pointed out
what
the
the
same
item
thing.
Rarish revealed was called, so I can just search for it? Oh yeah, I'm getting pinged here. I have a do not disturb on, so I missed the pings here.
Ah.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull up some of Rarish items, and then we'll see if any of those affect.
Raylo Swag, the base set of characters
Oh,
is
here we have it.
100
All
items.
right.
So I would suspect they might have like
This is
spread
dear.
out the 100
How do
items
I
among
give me a
various
second?
people. Let's see.
gonna zoom in here.
Freezes 1 items for
Right.
1 second, and while your enemy has poison, this has multicast.
Interesting. I mean,
Very
that
interesting.
seems a bit slow because Mac has Frost Potion and he has Sapphire, which is, but it's cute though. I mean, if it's with multicast, it's good for
And
sure.
I'm guessing this one probably also gains targets. Do we know? Does it get targets or
It's muted.
duration?
I guess muted is the new muted in life is the new
Yeah.
knower of keeper of secrets here. So muted.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what happens when you upgrade this? If you
Because
know.
I think the main thing you have to remember is for Mac, anything that gains targets, not duration, is vastly more powerful due to the existence of Sapphire.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
That's
pull
the
up
number one thing
Sapphire.
to keep in mind.
Sapphire is so good. For those who don't know, it's you've probably seen this item. It drops from the Frost Street Champion, I believe, and the Death Knight Reaper. So it's as your other freeze items have extra freeze duration.
Yeah.
So this is complete. This is super strong. And we also have Amber, of course, which gives the same for slow. So do not underestimate multicast on Mac, because there are ways to
Okay, so
manipulate.
Muted in Life is saying that he believes this one gains probably duration rather than targets. In that case, I would say that I actually expect typically that Weaselpede is played in different builds than something like Ice Claw. Because as a lot of people have pointed out in chat, this is a 6-second non-size restricted freeze item with multicast. Which the thing is, a 6-second non-size restricted freeze item with multicast goes amazingly well in a poison build, which already innately fulfills the condition.
Yeah, and they also this is another item Rarish apparently revealed, which is very interesting. So it's a 3-second. So I'm just seeing this for the first time, by the way, but I have to we have to take this into account when we analyze the other items. So it's 3-second potion, and then it reloads itself. That's crazy, actually. So any item, this is gonna be crazy because there are probably Mac items that care about potions being used, right, or being reloaded,
Yeah, I
or
think so
skills.
too. Or ammo items being used. Like, for example, he might have access to the fire ammo skill. Do we
This
know?
might
Is
be
it
his Uzi, yeah.
currently
This is Max
coded
Uzi, by the way.
as?
I'm calling it right now. This is gonna be like Uzi for Mac. You're gonna play this in every freaking Mac build ever. From the
I don't know. I'm not as
okay.
convinced because I think the reason why Uzi is so widely adopted is because the core kind of innately makes you care about having quick items, and because weapons tend to have a lot of synergies. So I do see how I could imagine Infinite Potion having some very relevant like um potion build synergies, but we've also been at least led to believe that, for example, poppy fields might lead Mac into also having very powerful red builds. And I don't think a
Oh,
red build would
Satchel, yeah. I'm
run
gonna pull up
this
another
potion a lot of the time.
so let's see Satchel. Yeah, we have this Mac item. When you reload, gain 5 regen for the fight. And then when you buy a potion, increase this item's
Okay, I
duration.
can confirm. I checked it. Heated shells is also a Mac skill.
Wow. So, and then there's
So,
also the Jury Rigger skill. There's so much
no,
stuff here
okay. Ice
actually
bullets.
to
Ice
unpack.
bullets is not coded onto Mac. Let me check real quick. I'm
Okay.
just gonna check here which skills are currently uh, available for Mac.
But man, Mac, there is so much stuff here actually, so many archetypes. So guys, I'm gonna make 5-star predictions on the items.
Here's
Well,
a really interesting new skill that I haven't seen before. Go to skills, bring
sure.
up backroom dealings.
Backroom dealings. When you visit a merchant, permanently gain. Oh, this is a pig skill. I know this from Pygmalion, I think.
Yes, but it's also a Mac skill.
Yeah. So any more stuff? No. So Talvi, I've revealed all the items. I'm gonna upload a YouTube video, or you can check the VOD after, or you can go to any Discord server. Like, I think all my items have now been posted in the official Bazaar Discord server in the Mac channel, and I'm also gonna post on my Discord. I'm gonna plug that real quick. So if you missed the stream or whatever, you can probably go there and find the items. So now we're just gonna try and theorycraft basically. We have
he gets Gunner.
yes. So we're now going to try and theorycraft, and I'm gonna try and rate the items. So let's probably go back to this, and of course it's rating items when you don't have the full context is of course a fool's errand, but I find it funny to do. So I think Ice Claw is a 4-star out of 5 item. I think this will be played a lot on ladder. At least unless it gets nerfed or changed. Oh, and Rarish. Okay, so hold on. Rarish had one more item. I missed that one. Where is it? Oh, Hourglass. So let's see this actually. Okay, so before we do the ratings and the predictions, and you guys can also predict, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do polls in the chat where you guys can rate all the items from 1-star to 5-star, and we'll see like the community predictions, and then we can compare in a week if you guys were wrong or right. So, Hourglass. Adjacent items have their cooldowns reduced by 4%. That's like two what are they called? 2 wings at bronze. It's basically thrusters, but
It's
worse.
also, we've mentioned, right, the very long cooldown on some of the items. And the Hourglass Pendulum interaction, I think, is especially noteworthy, together with the fact that this is tagged as a tool.
Yeah. So how do you make this work? I know
so
Golden. So I'm gonna respond to Golden. We don't know when Mac is coming out, but I mean when Mac ever comes out, we'll compare the how close we got to our predictions here. Because of course,
the next patch is at least predicted to be next Wednesday.
wait.
Based
So
on their
Muted is
usual
saying here.
patch
So we actually
schedule.
okay. Wait, Muted, who is I think this Muted is a staff at Tempo or like part of Tempo, says that Mac is coming out the 2nd of April. I'm gonna pin that.
That would be Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna pin that. So Muted, I hope you are. That's correct. I trust you on this. If that is true, that's a major announcement. That should probably. Maybe should I update the stream title? I don't know, but that's I don't think most people knew that. So let me see. Mac, give me a second.
Oh,
that's crazy. So thank you so much, Muted, for leaking. I mean, not leaking, but announcing that.
revealing.
Yeah, revealing.
Announcing.
Yeah. That's the.
All
right.
Take a look at you were really hyped on this goopy flail thing.
Yes, I was.
Look up the skill Venomous Blade.
All right, Venomous Blade, and then I'm also gonna take a look at the items revealed by what is he called? The other streamer that people discussed. Where is he? Time for Miracle. Yeah.
Oh yes, big fan. Time for Miracles, great.
Yes, casually dropping Mac reveal date in a Twitch chat. No big deal. That's such a crazy. It reminds me of so I was part of the Gwen community in the past, and they love doing these silly things where they leak stuff in like the most random corners of the internet. So that's very cool. Anyway, we return here. So Venomous Blade.
Okay, wait a second. I found the most huge Hourglass synergy.
Okay, but I'm gonna do Venomous Blade first. So you're talking about this.
Yes.
The
Venomous
first
Blade.
4
Yes.
times use a weapon, charge a poison item. All right, and then we have, of course, let's return to the goop here. Where are you, my friend? There you are. The goop. The goop flame. Yeah. So you charge this like 4 seconds. Now it's an 8-second item.
And it mainly means that if you're using like Pendulum and the charge skill, the like threshold for what you need to make it activate becomes a lot lower.
Yeah.
But another interesting thing with all these long cooldown items, and especially now that we've seen Hourglass,
yes,
Mac gets Lethargy.
Oh, the skill, yeah, Lethargy.
Yes.
And
that's flat now, if you remember.
Yeah.
And you know that you'll be able to find Hourglasses, which then reduces the effect Lethargy has on yourself. And the same goes for Palanquin.
Yeah, this is gonna be crazy on Mac, actually.
So I would say, like, if Mac has a playstyle that revolves around almost like control and disruption, if you can, so this is really interesting. Last episode on the podcast, we had a really good Pygmalion player on called Sunny.
Yes, I'm gonna give him a
And
shout
he
out.
doesn't just play Pygmalion, but he plays a lot more Pygmalion than the rest of us do on the podcast. And I was really interested in the Lethargy rework because it used to be a percentage, and then they buffed it, in my opinion, to being a flat value instead. And he said that the problem with Lethargy on Pygmalion is if you already have Fort, it's strong to buy Lethargy, but a lot of the time you can't be able to consistently guarantee that you'll be able to pivot into a composition that can actually utilize the skill in a timely enough manner to not end up kind of griefing your own board in the meantime. And that's what makes it so interesting to see this skill on a different character, is because it's all about will Mac be able to consistently utilize this skill since he has Hourglass at bronze as a small tool, as well as Palanquin, which
Oh
could,
my god. Look, have you seen
potentially.
this skill, Metal? Emergency
Oh,
Drought.
yes, I have seen that one
The
actually.
first time you fall below half health each fight, gain 1 or 2 times your regeneration for the fight. That's a crazy skill, actually.
It's a very hard one to evaluate because I think the big issue is the fact that a lot of the time when you fall below half health in a regen build, that might also mean that you're at risk of you might be getting bursted, basically, in which
That's
case
true, I
this works
guess.
very poorly. And it also has a terrible interaction with burn.
Oh yeah, burn. Yeah, that's one
Because
actually.
yeah.
Burn. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um,
Okay.
so I would say that I do suspect the stronger regen gets, I already think burn is like one of the strongest like types of damage in the game by a lot. And if regen gets more prominent, burn only gets stronger because burn ticks twice as fast as regen, which means you need twice as much regen as the burn that's applied to keep up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask Twitch chat. Can any of you tag me from the time for miracle items if they have been posted on the Discord? Could you just tag me 216 there also, and I can pull them up on the stream? Because I think we need those also for context. Let me see if anyone has maybe already done it in the past. Cause oh, here we have one, candles. Let's see. Let's see. Okay.
Okay.
So candles, let me see here. When you use a
Hmm.
small item, charge these 2 seconds, and then it's burn 8. Wow.
So it's like Microdave.
Yes, it's microdave, but so microdave in the charge meta, microdave was giga broken because he was 2 seconds at gold and then 3 seconds diamond. Microdave when he was
Now,
charging 2 was kind of crazy. Like he was
you
very
could
strong.
imagine this is where I would
Wait,
see
this is a
Infinite
bronze item?
Potion.
Hold up. It starts with
Yeah.
bronze. Okay, this might be super strong. I mean, we don't have Uzi on
Yeah.
Mac, but
No, you have Infinite Potion.
yeah, you have Infinite Potion. This with a
You
burn
put
skill.
Infinite Potion with Haste Potion,
Yeah.
which I think does Haste Potion start at bronze?
Um. No, it started silver. No, I don't know actually. I think it starts at
What
bronze
is it called?
now.
Energy Potion. Energy Potion
Yeah.
starts at
Yeah,
bronze.
it starts at bronze. So what happens? Is
Um,
muted still here? What happens when you upgrade the candles? I'm very curious. Is it only the burn amount?
it's gotta be only burn,
Yeah.
surely.
So I kind of missed the charge. Okay, I'm gonna get cancelled if I said it. I miss parts of the charge meta because in the charge meta it was very exciting to upgrade items because they went from good to crazy, which of course was bad for balance. All right, okay, right, Mito. Thank you so much for being here. You're awesome. But let's return to the item. So this looks super duper exciting. This is giving me dually vibes. This is a dually item here. And so we're gonna go skill start on Mac. We're gonna get 9 burn on our rightmost item, and then we're gonna play candles with haste potion and kill the opponent in 10 seconds. That's what we're gonna be
This is
doing.
also really interesting. Tazidian Dagger, which is the item carried by Dabbling Apprentice, which increases the ammo of adjacent potions, is indeed also a Mac item.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pull that up. I have so many tabs open at this point. I'm like
Which
the
means he kind of has like his own cannonball.
yeah.
And I think a lot of potions like Haste Potion, just having one more charge is a lot.
So how do you spell that?
Or
So,
like
Jesus.
if you just search potion and go to the bottom, it's the bottom one of potion.
Tassidian dagger. Okay, so this is a Mac item. Adjacent potions have extra ammo. Yeah, yeah.
So I think the fact that you have this makes a big difference in terms of just making potions easy to run in the mid game. I especially think shield potion. Anytime I get shield potion with Gunner on Vanessa from the encounter that drops a gold shield potion, it always feels like a really powerful item.
Yeah. And then we have this skill hardly working. It's a max skill. You've probably seen it before from a boss fight. The first times you
It was
slow.
reworked
Oh, it was
this
reworked.
patch.
Okay. Man, I am so excited for Mac actually. There's so much stuff here, like theory crafting wise,
Yeah,
because we have like
like
we haven't even seen all his
take a
items.
take a real quick look at shield potion's value versus its cooldown if you just ignore the fact that it has ammo.
What is it
Oh,
called?
you have to go
Shield.
to
Oh, skill
skills.
items.
Items, yeah.
5 second
So just
cooldown.
ignore
Yeah,
the ammo and just look at the number.
yeah. This is a crazy compared to granola bar, which is a decent
Yeah.
item.
So the fact that he has Gunner, right? The fact that he has both Gunner and heated shells makes me think it's possible Mac gains access to C4. I don't know if we have any way of checking. C4 is the vendor that sells ammo skills, the like trainer.
I think I
I
wouldn't be
don't.
surprised because it. I mean, maybe C4 is so Vanessa has old Saint, so I think each hero
So
has
it's
their
only
own.
Old Zane
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
Vanessa exclusive, right?
sure.
Oh yes. So he'll get C4 and he'll also get Reginald,
Oh,
which
cool.
is Reginald is the heal regen skill
Yeah,
trainer that Pygmalion has. So he'll probably have like some overlap with the other characters and then his own unique trainer. The thing that's so important about exactly C4 is that C4 only offers 7 skills, and we don't know if this might be different for like Mac. He might have some more ammo skills than Vanessa does, but basically for Vanessa, C4 has I think a 85% chance of offering Gunner, the skill that gives more ammo to your entire board. Which means that if you ever see C4 in your run, you can guarantee to get Gunner once or even twice, almost all the time, which means that all of your potions now read ammo 3, not ammo 1.
yeah. So I think let's do the star rating predictions. Are you fine with doing that also, Metal, or do you wanna?
Yeah, all
Sure. All
good.
right. Let's return to the items we revealed. I'm also gonna check if I missed any of times. Sorry. Yeah, times. Time for miracles
Yeah.
items. Let me double check.
He usually goes by time, so it's fine to
Yeah.
call him that.
So let me check here. Are there any? Damn it. Jump to present. Let's see. Hmm. Where is it? Hourglass. Okay. Well, we looked at those. Where are the other items? All right. So did he only reveal one item, or did he actually reveal 3? Because I only see um. There is rare stuff. Yeah, I think I don't see any more items from him. Okay, so in that case, let's. Oh, he revealed some existing items. Okay, I see. I see. All right, guys. Time for start predictions. Let's start with Gloop Fail. I'm gonna make the. Or is there any moderator in chat right now who is up to the task? If you can make a not a prediction but a poll, And then you basically have 5 possible categories. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And you title it Goop Flail. Otherwise, I can do it myself. But if there's any moderator in chat, we're gonna now be rating the items together and see what the consensus is. So if anyone wants to do that, in the meantime, I'm gonna ask Metal 1 to 5. You don't have the context, of course, but just gut feeling.
Yeah. So my gut feeling on Goop Flail is I want to call it a 3 out of 5 item. And I'll go through like what my scale would be. One would be an item that I think you can't really play this seriously. Like it's basically unplayable. Two, you're looking at an item that you can run on your board, but it's very replacement tier.
Yeah, I'm starting the poll here. So
Three is a solid item, but I wouldn't call it a full build around. It's just an item that you can make work in the right circumstances.
sure,
4 would be an item that defines the builds of the character. It's something that they always go for, kind of makes an archetype. And then a 5, I would consider an item that is like really busted. Like this item might need balance changes and it's kind of overpowered. Just to put an example, I would probably consider Pendulum to be a 5 because just the fact that it charges 2 seconds and gives 20% crit at Diamond and is a gold medium, so it's not that hard to find. I think that's going to be really crazy. Poppy Fields would be more of a 4. I think it's going to be really core and defining for poison weapon Mac builds, but it might not be like downright broken. And then I see Goop Flail as being a 3 then. I definitely think Mac has tools in his kit. It's got great synergy with Lethargy. It's got great synergy with both slow poison and weapon poison, the charge skills. It's got good synergy with Hourglass, and it's got good synergy with stuff like Pendulum.
sure.
So it definitely feels like there are things that can make it work, but it's still a 12-second large that, in addition to needing enablers to make its cooldown work, also needs you to have a way to scale its damage. I think that's really important, which is why I put it smack in the middle at 3. I think you can make it work. When you do make it work, I think it could make an endgame board, but it's not going to be like a card that defines the character.
All right. I would give it a 2.5 or like a 3, I think. I I think it's gonna need a lot of love, basically. Like,
Yeah.
but it has potential. So
But just the fact that like it's got multicast 3 and innate scaling on a character that we know will have crit. Like that
yeah,
alone makes me think it's not garbage at
no, no, no.
least.
All right, let's do the next one. So and put it up here. We do Ice Claw now, which
Oh, Viserion made a really good comparison.
okay,
He said it's a poison flamethrower with multicast 3 innately. And I do think that's kind of a good way of phrasing it. Like, yeah, it's a bit slower, but if Flamethrower had multicast, that would be pretty powerful.
yeah. And Metal, I'm gonna stop screen since we have seen the items now. I'm gonna try and preserve some
Yes,
resources.
all good, all
All
good.
right, now Ice Claw, I'm gonna do the poll, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say it's a 4 out of 5 for me, and then Metal can give his take. So
My suspicion is 3 out of 5. I think it will depend on um, how good shatter builds end up being. If shatter builds are reliable, I have never tried to force shatter, so I don't know how easy it is to get shatter. If you have shatter in your build, the fact that it's both a weapon and multi target freezes becomes really powerful.
yeah,
But if that's not a build you go for consistently, a 9-second cooldown self-scaling item feels more like the kind of thing you play in the mid-game consistently, but then tend to replace as you're moving to max late-game boards.
So people are complaining about the cooldown on this, but guys, Mac has energy potion. Mac has, if there's any hero that can manipulate cooldowns, it's probably Mac. So
yeah, we got Hourglass, for example.
I think the reason his items have high base cooldowns is because they're never gonna go off at 9 seconds. It's in practice it's like a maybe 6-second item or 5-second.
But that's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at an end game board, it's still most likely a 6-second item that needs to go off twice or thrice. So this is like probably looking at like a 20-second kill timer in the late game.
Yeah.
And that's my main reason why I'm not convinced it would be 4, but it still feels like there's a long stretch of the game where, especially if you have freeze, saying I usually kill at 18 seconds is not unreasonable. Like flagship oftentimes kills at 18 seconds in the mid game.
Yeah.
Primordial depth charge oftentimes kills at 18 seconds in the mid game. So yeah.
All right, let's see what the poll ended at here. So 4-1. Okay, nice. I'm just gonna change my headphones. So Metal, give me a second. The viewers will not be able to hear you.
Good.
So like 20 seconds here, and then I'm gonna catch up on chat. So let's see here. All right, say something. Let's see. Okay, I cannot hear you yet. Let's see. Give me a sec here. Say something now.
Yes.
Okay,
Hello?
I can still not hear you. Damn it, Discord.
Oh.
Let
Bullying.
me see audio. Input. Okay, I don't know what the issue is here. Let me try and fix this.
Oh, chat can hear me. In that case, I can answer in the
Okay.
meantime. Tragex, we have gotten it confirmed that the damage scaling and the
We can hear him
number
though.
of
Okay, you guys
freeze
can hear him. That's funny.
targets go up
So I cannot
as
hear him, but you guys
you
can hear
rank
him.
up the item.
Yeah, this is what I run into with Discord sometimes. Okay, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Oh, yes, perfect.
Great.
There we go.
All right. So, let's move to the next item. I think we're all in agreement. Goop Flail, Ice Claw.
Yeah, Tragic. So that's why I think it's going to be really strong in the mid game, but I'm worried that linear scaling and high cooldown means that it falls off in the late game rather than being an item that you keep on your board for like the whole run.
All right. Fireflies, let's get the poll rolling and then Metal can take the scene for this one.
I think this is an easy 2. It's got scaling burn, and we know that Mac will have, like, if you get something like a flashbang on Mac or whatever, like really powerful, but it's still a linearly scaling 9-second cooldown item. Even if it has burn, like you look at this and then you look at Steam Ladle, and I can't give it more than a 2.
Yeah, this might be a 1 or 2 for me. I don't know quite, but I just feel like the payoff isn't.
I think so. Like I mentioned, I would consider a 2 an item that you can run, but you don't want it to stay on your board. If
Okay.
I got like a silver or gold fireflies when I had a higher ranking amber, I would probably play it for a few rounds in the mid game. So it's not like useless. It's not. I would never put this on my board.
Yeah. Let's see what chat has to say. So you guys are currently okay. A 1 is actually in the majority here from chat. Yeah, it would be a 1.5 for me, I think, unless there is more slow synergy I'm missing, based on what we know
I
so
think
far.
they're definitely. I expect it to be at least like 1 more.
Yeah.
Slow thing. Like if it didn't say burn, it would easily be a 1. But just the fact that say it's silver, right? So we're looking at pre-early game, like day 3 maybe. A 9-second cooldown item needs 18 burn to start stacking.
Yeah.
And if it gains 2 per slow, then that means that it only needs you to have slowed what it's 7 times, I think. At eight slows, it starts stacking. Which with if you get a gold amber somehow, or most likely amber plus one more thing that slows, I feel like it's not impossible to get like 8 slows off in a reasonable time frame. And then I
Yeah.
would play this on if we're looking at like day 4, or if I want an item that makes me beat Radiant Corsair, this could probably do that. Stuff like that.
All right. So the final item, the dragon spread. Let's get the poll rolling, and metal you can. So I'm gonna give this a. Oh, that's hard. I'm gonna say a 2. I think a 2.
This is the one that in a vacuum looks like a 1.
Okay.
Just because this one needs much more things than what we have seen already to be good. The big problem that you can't ignore with this particular one, right, is we've mentioned Mac has long cooldown items, but he has ways to solve items having long cooldowns. The ways we have seen so far in terms of items, it's Pendulum and Hourglass. Here's the problem. Dragon's Breath wants the adjacent items to charge it. You can't run it with Hourglass or Pendulum and still get it to charge quickly enough in terms of the burn.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing I see as a bit of a conundrum.
Yeah.
Um, Talvi said
Oh, we
Uzi
have
and
a
Light are
4. We have
next
a
to
4 out of 5 here.
GG,
That's
and
interesting.
I just can't possibly agree. The problem is that this goes off at 12 seconds, and there doesn't appear to be an easy way to solve that. If this is your main source of damage, and your burn starts at 12 seconds, you're not killing the opponent until like 25 seconds, like it becomes a really slow clock. Um, I think if we see something so I like Primordial Depth Charge. I think Primordial Depth Charge is good because Vanessa has Figurehead as well as Clamra, and the fact that the item can use both Slow Burn and Creeping Toxins and Sick Burn and Freezes. If you remove like any of those things, Depth Charge is really tough to play. And now I'm just looking at an item that seems like a more conditional and weaker Primordial Depth Charge. It still has ammo, it still requires specific payoffs, but since it only has burn, you lose out on half the possible skill hits. Um, as far as we know, I don't think Mac has start of combat triggers, so we can't abuse like Clamora tech to speed it up. We can't abuse quick ignition tech to speed it up if we don't have start of combat. It's still gonna be pretty slow. And that's why I just don't see a clean way to solve the cooldown. The
Yeah.
main thing that would change my mind is if Dragon Synergy is really strong. Like, that is like the thing that could completely flip this item, because what if dragon items give like amazing defense or something and you have them go off while scaling the breath, and they don't need to be adjacent, so you could have like breath with pendulum and then dragon wing if you want to bring that one up 6
Yeah, Dragon Wing, give me a second.
um I would imagine like
Sorry.
something like that, but those are things that we don't know for sure that we'll have yet. I don't think Dragon Wing is a Mac item. I think that's monster exclusive.
For now, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Metal, I think like I'm gonna try and I wanted this to be like an hour. So is there anything else you
Yeah.
wanna say here? Just like what are your final thoughts on the stuff we've seen so far?
I'm really
I'm gonna give you a
excited. The
shout out
thing that
also.
makes me the most excited is I know that Sixten made a post recently about how one of his major gripes with Dooley, a character that obviously is otherwise quite a fan for, is that his items are bad at talking to each other. There's not that fluidity that Vanessa especially brings to the table, where she can transition between builds in a really fun and engaging way. When I look at every Mac item that we've seen so far, that's the big thing that speaks to me, is that it feels like he has so many things that makes his builds really flexible. You can play a weapon build with Gunner just for the sake of powering up an energy pot. You can play Frost Potion in a Shatter build together with your Ice Claw, and then maybe you just transition because you picked up Gunner for the sake of your Frost Pot, and now you're going into some insane, like, late game potion build or whatever he has going on. That's what makes me most excited about Mac, is just the fact that so far, everything we've seen points towards this being an insanely creative character.
Yeah.
And we haven't even seen how he transforms things. We know he can transform things. We haven't even gotten to that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. And Metal, you can also
Oh.
plug your if you want to your stream and stuff before you
Yes,
go.
thanks for having me on. I stream a bit sporadically. I have a YouTube as well. They're both the same name, MetallFenix, with two L's and an F. You might know me from the podcast. I've mostly been playing Vanessa. The instant Mac drops, I'm really excited to just play a ton of him. So whenever Sixten isn't around, feel free to come check me out.
All right. So let me close this down. And guys, now I'm gonna play some more. I'm probably gonna play for like another hour. So